Welcome back, everybody. Craig Peterson here. Hey, if you missed that URL to sign up and get all of those free materials, those cheat sheets, and to find out about the special webinars we're going to be holding this week, make sure you subscribe. That URL is craigpeterson.com/subscribe. Craig, just like it sounds, C-R-A-I-G, and Peterson, Peterson.com/subscribe, all lowercase. You can get onto my email list. You'll also be getting my weekly newsletter that includes the recap of the top tech stories of the week. We have a new newsletter that we've put together and are going to start publishing that explicitly goes through what the most important patches are that you need to apply. So that comes out monthly. It's kind of coordinated with Microsoft's Patch Tuesday. Comes out about a week later is what our plan is, and that gives us a chance to analyze the patches. Like this last month, they had more than 100 high severity patches they wanted to have you apply. So if you want to know what are the ones I really have to worry about, this is for you. So you'll get that as well, and you will have the opportunity to sign up for all of these free webinars and learn about different types of trainings, webinars, pop-ups that we have, kind of everything all rolled into one. So make sure you check that out and sign up. craigpeterson.com/subscribe. So let's get into our next article. This is the coronavirus maps. I got one of these weeks ago, and it was an email. It was sent out to the media. Come check this out. We've put together this new map. And at the time, I really didn't think twice about it. And I do have multiple layers of security on this network and multiple layers of security on my Mac as well. And I clicked on it, right? Duh. And I was taken to a site that did have a map, and I was lucky because I did have the advanced malware protection, the AMP stuff that Cisco has on my Mac, and it was all caught properly. The firepower, I think, actually is what caught it at the network edge. It saw it and what it was doing and stopped it immediately. But even the spread of the really, however you want to call it, COVID-19, which is the SARS-CoV-2 virus, also known as the Wuhan virus, which is where it started, just like we've got, Lyme disease, because it started in Lyme, Connecticut, SARS, all of these diseases because of the rivers they were first found at and stuff. But whatever, this COVID-19, we'll just call it that, which is the disease. But the bad guys are using this as an opportunity to spread malware and to launch cyber attacks. They were really fast about doing that. And there's a threat analysis report that was released by this company called Reason Cybersecurity that had a good look at this to have an idea of what's going on. And they found a file called coronavirusmap.com.exe. Yeah, how's that for common, right? .com.exe, which is where they will try and get you to download it thinking it's an executable that could be helpful for you, but in fact it's not. But there are a lot of people who have downloaded it. And I'm looking right now at a table showing where it is being downloaded, what's going on, how many engines detect it. And here's an example of how useless antivirus software is nowadays. As of now this is about 2 weeks that this particular piece of malware has been in the wild, about 2 weeks. 58 out of the 72 engines that they tested over at VirusTotal, only 58 of these antivirus engines even detect it as being a problem. And ours detected it about 2 weeks ago. So, again, more reason not to trust antivirus software. But anyways, that's not what we're talking about right now. What we're really doing now is this is a new threat, and they're using an old malware trick. And this is kind of part of the whole business email compromise stuff that we've heard about over the last couple of years. I've talked about it. The FBI has published statistics. We're talking about many billions of dollars that have been stolen from victims. A very, very big deal. We've got local, state officials, federal officials who have been trying to track it down. And the U.S. attorneys in the Northern District of Georgia have a release out saying that dozens were charged in this Atlanta-based money laundering operation that funneled $30 million in proceeds from computer fraud schemes, romance scams, and retirement account fraud. This is all stuff that we've talked about before on this show. This release was last Friday the 13th. Bad day for those guys. And it says that federal agents have arrested 24 individuals for their involvement in a large-scale fraud and money laundering operation that targeted citizens, corporations, and financial institutions throughout the United States. Business email compromise schemes, romance fraud scams, and retirement account scams, among other frauds, duped numerous victims into losing more than $30 million. And of course, this release goes on for quite a ways. But here's the bottom line of what they're talking about. We've got this new COVID-19 scam where they are saying, hey, here's a map. You can download it. Well, that one's giving you a virus when you go ahead and try and do that. Of course, the more advanced malware platforms are not going to let that through. The next one is the business email compromise schemes. And this is where they try and trick businesses into thinking that they owe money to somebody, they need to wire money to somebody, they haven't paid a vendor, etc., etc. And it's a common scheme, and it's up right now. The romance fraud scams, I suspect those are going to be pretty successful right now as people are self-isolating and maybe are feeling a little bit isolated. And the romance fraud scams are things like, getting somebody to kind of fall in love with you, really appreciate you, and then you go ahead and say, I've got this bill, hospital bill, it's $2,000, it's $3,000, it's $5,000. And in some cases, it's my nephew, my niece, my wife or ex-wife or whatever, right? And they have already scammed you into feeling for them, and then they get you to send them money. In some cases, it's, hey, I really want to meet in person, and it's going to cost, $2,500 for me to fly over there, and people are wiring them the money. So there's your romance fraud scam. Retirement account scams. Oh man, it's especially in these cases with a down market right now. It's, hey, we've got a certified investment plan, and we are still, even in these down times, showing a return of 5% or more. They don't want to make it sound like it's too good, and get people to wire the money into their accounts. Think of Bernie Madoff and what he did. Many other frauds, and they're trying to dupe the victim. So we have to be very careful when we're out there. These online fake dating profiles, third-party administrators here for retirement investments. So these, these are the people. They have a whole list of them. Just a quick glance showing they're about 30 years old in general. That's a shame. That is a shame. A lot of foreign-sounding names, but there are all people there in Georgia, with the exception of a couple in Texas, somebody in Nigeria. How's that, eh? In Missouri. All right, when we get back, we're going to talk about next topic here, Comcast and T-Mobile, some other things when it comes to working from home. Make sure you get onto my email list so that you can get notified about this week's webinars and other topics. CraigPeterson.com/subscribe. You're listening to WGAN, and we'll be right back.